So how should I do it? So I'll do a 1 to 3 star system. So 3 means they're top tier, obviously 2 is mid tier, 1 is low tier. Now they're all great, obviously, but the biggest thing with the 1 tier is just to say that maybe they shouldn't be on here. I'm gonna try not to compare too much to like who should have been on instead, but if they just seem underwhelming. So obviously this is an easy 3 star. Can't really see that as well though. Need like a different shade of yellow. Or whatever, it doesn't matter as long as you can see. So you go like 1, yeah, we'll have to do it kind of like this, I guess. As long as 3 fits. Now what's that? I don't know how to do this efficiently. 1, 2. I have to like copy it and then why doesn't it let you copy that? Already scuffed. Why can't I copy it? What the fuck? It actually won't let you. You gotta make it really tiny so we get the idea like this. It's still a little bit too big because we're gonna have to fit it for every single one. So again, we get this. Okay, that's good. So again, this is an easy 3 star. Nothing to question here. Okay, once I get the hang of this, it'll be fine. The scuffed way of doing it, but okay. Nothing underwhelming there. Ray, I'll give 2, right? I don't think anyone would have an issue with that because it's like he's great, but not top tier. I guess top would mean like best player on a championship team kind of thing, which he never was that. Giannis will have to be 3, but I'll give him 2. I'll take into consideration longevity. So he hasn't been here long enough to justify 3. So he gets 2 for now. Carmelo gets 2, but barely. It's almost like a 1.5 because, you know, he didn't have much success in the playoffs, whatever. So he's almost a 1, but like he's skilled enough, but I'll give him 2. That's fine. Nate Archibald gets 2, kind of underrated, I would say. People might say he doesn't belong here, but he definitely does. 30 and 10 one season. Paul Arizin, I'll give, maybe I'm being generous with the 2s. Okay, I'm not crazy about him, so I'll give him 1. Barkley, I'll give 3, obviously. Aside from his defensive issues, which I've always said he's a terrible defender, but he's also undersized, so that could be why. Rick Barry's an easy 3. He's like a 3+. No question about that. 75, one of the most underdog teams ever to win a title. No other All-Stars. Second leading scorer, 11 points per game on fucking 37% shooting. So Elgin Baylor's also an easy 3. 1, 2, 3. Nothing to question there. Dave Bing is kind of an underwhelming one. He is kind of underwhelming. 7. It doesn't even necessarily mean he doesn't belong here. It just compared to some of the other guys, he's not the greatest, obviously. Larry Bird's easy 3. No question there. Kobe, same thing. It's easy. This is a weird way of doing it, but I like it. Wilt also is easy. So see, some of these are easy. They go without saying. But some of them I might take issue with. So Kuzi, I'll give 2. His field goal percentage is so bad, and I know people say the era, but regardless of that, it's still just not good. So I'll give him 2. Cowens, I'll give 2 as well. I could almost give Cowens 1. You know, I will. Like, he was great, but I'm just not super crazy about him. Yeah, he won a regular season MVP, so I can't really do that. I'll give him 2. Maybe I'm wrong, but Cunningham was pretty good. I'll give him 2. It's gonna be hard to find the ones, but I'll get there. Curry's obviously 3 to me. Some people might give him 2, but I think I'd be comfortable with 3. Davis gets 2 just because, again, he hasn't been here long enough. It's like, what, he's been in the league 10 years, not even? What is it? I forget what year he came in. I'll give him 2, mainly because he hasn't been there long enough. George Urban gets 2. He's borderline 3, but didn't have much success outside of just individual stats. Hal Greer, people might underrate. He deserves 2 for sure. 10 All-Stars, 10th all-time in scoring when he retired, so his legacy has been diminished. Harden gets 2. Stat pattern, but pretty good stats that he's compiled. Havlicek, let's see. Havlicek gets 2, borderline 3. Maybe he deserves 3. It's hard to say. Those Celtics are so stacked, those teams, it's hard to distinguish anybody. Elvin Hayes gets 2. He should have been the MVP of the finals that he won, but people liked Wes Unseld more personally, so they do it. Iverson gets 2. A lot of people would give him 3, but I'm not. I don't like his efficiency. He was selfish. So these are easy 3. Nothing to question here. Magic and LeBron. I don't know how they ordered this. Like, it's not in alphabetical order. It's just in like a random, who knows kind of order. I don't know what it's based on. Okay, Sam Jones. See, now this is one that I'm going to feel differently about. He gets 3 to me because he has one incredible distinction. He was the overall leading scorer for the greatest dynasty in the history of sports, which was the 11 Celtics teams. He played on 10 of them, and he averaged more points per game than anybody else from those teams. So he's actually their best consistent offensive player, overall leading scorer. So that's a very strong distinction. Very clutch. He hit a ton of big shots. So he gets underrated like crazy. Jordan, obviously. See, Kid, this is one. I'm going to give him 1 because he was so horrible at scoring. I've always hated him. I think he's been super overrated. The fact that he shot 40% from the field for his career. Jason Kidd. That is unacceptable. I don't care about anything else. That is atrocious. And he only averaged 12 points, which is fine. Like, I love Stockton, but Stockton shot 50, 40, 90 kind of guy. 40 from the field is not going to cut it. You're not going to win with that, and you didn't win with it because he won, with the Mavs just hitting a couple threes a game. That's all he did. So he's very overrated. Kawhi, I'll give 3. This is hard because he was kind of a late bloomer. I'll give him 3, though. He's such a good two-way player. Lillard, to me, gets 1, only for the fact that, if I'm not mistaken, he's only been in the league like 8 years. I'm not too sure how they made this decision. Yeah, he just hasn't been here long enough. I'm sorry. By the end of his career, he'll obviously belong here, but Lucas is really good. I'll give him 2. You could give him 3. Malone, I'll give 3. Pretty much only thing he didn't do is win a title, unfortunately. So some people might give him 2, but, second all-time leading scorer, you can't question. Moses Malone was amazing. He was the best player when they won with Dr. J, even though Dr. J gets all the credit. Not bad. Maravich is hard. I'll give him 2. Didn't have much postseason success. He was perceived as a selfish player, stuff like that. But he played like there was a 3-point line before there was one. McAdoo can get 2 as well. MVP, but yeah, not much other success. Well, he joined the Showtime as a role player later, but still. Keem obviously is 3, pretty easy choice there. See, Robert Parrish to me is like, he's great, but he gets 1 because it's like, he's here and Dwight Howard isn't. I said I would try not to compare who's not on, but like, man, he's good, but he's not that good. He's a bit overrated. Chris Paul gets 2 or 3. It's tough. I'll give him 2. That's kind of stupid though. Yeah, I have to give him 3 though. He's all time great. Gary Payton should get 3 for his defense mainly. But see, some of the guys I'm not giving 3. I don't know. I'll do it. I like defense. Bob Petty should get 3. Now, you know what? I just realized these 2 should both get 2 because no matter how great they are, they didn't accomplish certain things that some of these other guys did. So I'll use accomplishments as 1 star. So like 1 star equals, here, I'll even put it here. I don't know if I'm wrong to say it now. 1, 2, 3. So you get 1 for, this is kind of a fun way to do it. 1 equals, like this. We'll say, star equals longevity. 1 star equals peak or prime, like how great were you at your best, and 1 can be accolades, achievements, winning. Okay, so I personally value this more, but I want to distinguish which is which. I'll just put the stars. That makes sense. Now, some of these won't make sense given that because I didn't start off thinking like that, but it's okay. So Petty gets 3. He had the 50-point closeout game before Giannis did. He was the first to beat the Celtics, one of only 2 players to beat Bill Russell, the other being Wilt, obviously. I mean, 2 teams to beat them in that 13-year span. Pierce is a perfect example of a 2. You know, great scorer, not great defender. Didn't win a ton, but still impressive. So let's do Scotty. To me, is actually closer to 3 than 2 because you win 6 titles. You're the second best offensive and best defensive player, maybe the best defensive player ever. That matters to me more than probably most people. So he's a borderline, but I'll give him 2 since the perception is like that. Willis Reed can be 2. I don't know, I'm kind of mixed on that. Obviously, Oscar is an easy 3. Easy 3, easiest 3 ever. Best point guard ever. Robinson should get 3, truthfully, because of both ends. He's a 3 for me, for sure. He did win. I mean, people give Duncan the credit, but still. Now, here's a fun one. Dennis Rodman. Imagine putting him over Dwight Howard. That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. So we'll give him 1 star. Very one-dimensional utility player. Russell is obviously 3. But a cut below Wilt at least. People always make that comparison. All Shays I'll give 2. It's fine. Bill Sharman gets 2. He was a great scorer for the Dynasty with Russell. I'm going to give Stockton, I guess I'd be obligated to give him 2. Yeah, I have to because I gave Paul and stuff. That's fine. 2 is fine. To me, Isaiah Thomas gets 2 as well, though. They're pretty even. Even though he won, had some of the best defensive teams ever. Still very good, though. Nate Thurmond. He's closer to a 1 to me, but he is very good. Wes Unseld. I'm actually going to put him in the Dennis Rodman category, though. I'll give him 1. It's because his stats are so underwhelming. So this is the first part. Let's do the second part. So we're starting at Anthony Davis. Where is that? So right here. I just cross them out so I don't get distracted. Alright. Then we'll continue like I did. Dave DeBusschere. Maybe gets a 1 star. Clyde is a 2. Actually, he should be 3. Duncan's obviously 3. Some of these are super easy. Durant, even at this point, I think would still be considered a 3 with all the success he had. Kind of just barely, though. When he retires, obviously, without question. But Julius Erving, I mean, technically, unless we're counting the ABA, he'd be a 2-star. So I will consider him that, even though it seems unfair. Unless we're talking about just ability. Ewing to me is pretty weak. He gets 2. I think he's super overrated, very inefficient. Didn't he shoot like below 40% as a center? Or I mean 50%. I'm sure I saw that before. He shot under 50% as a center consistently. 44, 43, 46, 43, 48, 46, 40. I mean, mostly later in his career, but still. That's pretty pathetic, if you ask me. So Walt Frazier is a 2, almost a 3. KG is probably 3 because of both ends. Even though he didn't win much. It's borderline. But yeah, you can't be that good 2 ways and not make it. McHale, to me, gets a 3. See, this is one of those differences. He'd probably seem like a 2. But if he was a number 1 option, he could have easily put a crazy number. So I believe that. He's a 3. Mikan, yes, 2. No, he's got to be 3 because at the point that he played, his impact. See, now Reggie to me gets 1. It's hard, but he's a little overrated. Yeah, sure, he was a great shooter, but he would score. He wasn't a great defender, not a great passer, not a great rebounder. Didn't win. Just one thing. He would do one thing for you, and we're going to see another one of those soon. Earl Monroe, I'll give maybe 1. I don't know. Nash, I guess 2. Yeah, he'd have to be 2, just so efficient. And then Nowitzki, I could also give 1 for the same reason I gave Miller. But people get pissed at this, but it's like the fact that he gets 2, but still. He's not a 3 to me. You just look at his career path. I can even like break it down. Here. Dirk, 2006. Played bad. Lost up 2-0. MVP year equals play bad, lose in first round. So you see there's a pattern. Whenever he's the first option, bad things happen. 2011 wins MVP in finals, but still is not leading scorer. Wait. So the pattern is he's a second option trying to be the first for a franchise that let him be that for 20 years. So if you win once in 20 years, second option forced to be first. That's my belief. Shaq is obviously 3. 3 plus plus. Yeah, last year Wade is a 3. No question about it. We just mentioned him. How even when he lost in 2011, he was the leading scorer. Not by much, but still. Walton gets 1. He just didn't do it long enough. How many healthy seasons did he actually have? Misspelled his name. So he only played 468 games. He had... How many great seasons did he have? Like... Okay... Great. It's like 3 great seasons. You don't get to do that. West gets 3, obviously. Although he didn't have much success winning, it's just not really his fault. Westbrook should almost get a 1. His numbers are just so ridiculous. I have to give him 2, but barely. I'm begrudging. We'll cover some of that up. Lenny Wilkens, I actually don't know that well. Lenny Wilkens. Let's see. 9-time All-Star. I'm kind of lukewarm on this, though. It's like he's he was a great passer, though. 9-9. I don't know. I'll still give him 1. I'm just not very familiar with him. Dominique gets a 2 from me. This is one of those, if he had won a title or a couple titles, he'd easily be 3, but I can't quite give him that. And then Worthy gets 2. Although you could make a similar argument to McHale. If he had been a number 1 option, who knows what he would have done. Actually, no, but he also had a very short career. Very, very short. Like, he only played... how many seasons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why did I think it was so short?
Introducing Best Buy Total Tech with lots.
I felt like he retired super early. I mean, he got hurt and stuff. Interesting. Well, anyway, that's my full list. So maybe I'll say, let me review it really quick and see. That was fun, but like, which ones would I think are like controversial, like not common opinions? I'll put like a red line. I think these are understandable. Some of these are because of longevity. Which one do I think people wouldn't like? I don't think people care that much about Dave Bing, but maybe I'm wrong. People might put Kuzi more, but I don't think he deserves it. Cunningham's fine. These all seem fine. People might disagree with that, but he definitely deserves 2. I'm assuming they'd give him 1 because they don't know who he is. Harden is fine. They'd probably give him 3 though. I think most people would. Iverson, I don't know how I feel about. And who else do I think? This one I think most people wouldn't give him 3, but he absolutely deserves it if you look at the context of what he did. Overall leading scorer for greatest dynasty in the history of sports. You gotta give it to him. This one I know nobody would agree with, but his fucking 40%. I should like give a reason for each one and like post this somewhere. 40%. 40%? Question mark. Why? It might be a little premature, but I think he deserves it. Lillard is super premature. Lucas is fine. Malone. Lucas probably deserves 3 now that I think about it. But Malone, people might give him 2 because of the championship thing, but I'm okay with him. Malone obviously deserves... It's not in alphabetical order, is it? JKL. Oh, it is. I'm stupid. It's in alphabetical order. I didn't even notice that. Maravich is fine. This one people probably disagree with, but I don't mind it. Paul, people might give him 3. He almost deserves it. There should almost be like a 2.5. 2.5 category. He'd be in there. Peyton would be in there. Pettit deserves 3 easy. Pierce is perfect at 2. Pippen is almost 3 to me though. Almost. Willis Reed's fine. Oscar. This is pretty interesting though. Willis Reed, maybe somebody will take an issue. Robinson's fine. Rodman, I don't take any issue with. That's fine. This one I almost want to give 3, but I can't, given if Chris Paul's a 2, he's a 2. You know, you have to be fair. Thomas is a 2. Some people might take issue with that. And I have no problem giving Wes Unseld a 0. Let's see part 2 then. Which ones do I think people would disagree with? Don't think people care too much about these. These would be fine. This one maybe, but that's more just the split between NBA, ABA. Ewing, I stand by it, but some people might consider him 3. Mikhail, I'm sure people would disagree, but I see the potential of what he could have been. Miller, everyone will disagree, but just not that guy. And then Nash is fine. Nowitzki is almost a half, 1.5. Wade's fine. Walton, again, it's just the longevity. He fails miserably. That's fine. This, I don't even know what to make of it. This is a big fat question mark. How do you do just a here? Question mark? Lenny Wilkins, I don't know anything about him either. Dominique is deserving, and you could give Worthy a 3. That was a good list. Let's do something else.